This is the Rook puzzle. It's a really clever chess puzzle where you need to use standard chess moves to get the black rook to the black square. It has 3 bishops, 3 knights and 3 pawns in a row. The pawns can only move forward and you cannot capture any of the pieces. This puzzle is a brilliant adaptation of chess into puzzles. They can be bought at Puzzle Guy's store, which I'll put a link in the description in case you want to try them. And let's see if you can actually think about the solution before I show it to you. Now this may seem really simple because like how hard can it be, but actually because you cannot capture anything, it is much more complicated than it looks and will take a few tens of moves to solve. So the first thing I can do is only to move this knight back there. Now I can either move this to the front or this to the back. Let's see, what is my strategy even? I'll tell you what's the problem. If I get a pawn to a position where all of them are in the second row, I will not be able to move the rook. So if I'm looking at the strategy here, I would need to have one pawn only go to the third row and everything else will need to stay in the first row. That is what I'm hoping will happen. Now in order for this to happen, you know what? I can do this. I can leave it here and this I will move to the third row. That would maybe make sense. Let's try that. Move this here, this here, this here and that here. At this point I can move this here, but that's okay. I move that here and this here. What now? I move this and that there. And now I can move this here and I can make the first move with the rook. Obviously I can either move this or that. Let's move this just because I can now move this one again and move this one here now. Now I can move this here and I can move that there, and I will do another move with the rook. Now I can basically move the pawn once more to the upper part. Do I want that though? Not sure I want that. Let's do this, and now we can move this here and this here. The rook will then go there, and I can move this here. Now this goes there, and I'm afraid I'm stuck. Yeah, so this will not go here yet. This will go here instead, and this will go here. Now I can move this piece, and again I'm stuck. So let's go back, let's do this. And now let's move that. And again I'm stuck. So there's many ways to get stuck here. It's been only 4 minutes since I started solving it, and I'm already stuck. I cannot move the pawns backwards, obviously. Yeah, we'll need to start over. Let's see if I have other openings other than what I tried. No, only opening I've got is this. Then let's say I start with that, move this here, move this. Okay, now I can move the rook faster. Let's put this here now and this there. This actually feels better. Like this and that. Now let's move this and this knight. Let's move. I'm sure this is a good position to be in. I would want to have this pawn all the way at the top to allow me for a lot of new maneuvers. So let's try that. Move this there and this there. But this doesn't help me. Let's move this like that. This will go here and this pawn goes up. Rook goes here, pawn goes here, rook goes back. Pawn goes up, knight goes back. You know what, let's move this pawn up, bishop here, pawn up, and knight here. Now I can move this there. The pawns are stuck in the front line, but I can move this knight here. Does this do anything? No, doesn't help me. So again, I'm pretty much stuck. I can move this here actually, and then I can move this here. I will move the knight there, again stuck. Yeah, I think the only way is to get this pawn all the way to the front, and only then I can probably do the other part of the puzzle. Wait, let's try this. Move this here, this there, this here. Now this goes back, this goes here. This will go here now, and this here, and this goes back. And this goes back, and this goes here. Then this will go here like that. Maybe now I can move this there like this. Now the pawn is here. Actually, I think from here I've got a solution. The bishop is trapped, but I have all the pawns on the front. Now that they're in the front, I think a few more moves and the puzzle will be solved. So I move this here, this here, this here, and this here. Now I move the knight right there. Let's move this there, this here. The rook will go here, bishop goes here, and the rook got to the final destination. As you can see, the puzzle is much trickier than it looks. It's pretty fun to solve and has many different solutions. So every time you try and solve it, there's gonna be something different, which makes it brilliant to put on a coffee table or something like that and replay it to make your brain sharp. And especially if you like chess, this is a really cool puzzle to try.